So, Steve, I think before the game, people would have quite easily taken a point against Lydd, but after they go down to 9 men, it just felt a bit frustrating last night. They had a missed opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. I think zooming out and looking at the whole January, if someone had said you're going to win the derby, draw with Faversham and Lydd, you would have took that. But in the context of last night, yeah, to be 2-1 up. Obviously with them two players down and to see 2 points slip through the fingers in injury time, yeah, unfortunately it was a little bit of deja vu. I'm not going to hide from that. Disappointing.
Yeah, because I mean, at the first half we okay, it wasn't our best performance by long, we did okay. You know, their guy was rightly sent off for 2 silly yellows, and we managed that. We took the lead. You know, Trev scores, and we're going to half time 1-0 up. And it's worth also noting that Trev scored a really good goal for us. You know, it was coming from wide. He had to take 2 stabs at it because of the worst. But we managed to get the second one and we knock it in. So,
yeah,
you know, all credit to Trev there.
I mean, we consciously decided to go down the hill first half, have a go at them, try and build some momentum. I felt we did. You know, the tone was set very early on when the guy pulled Trev down, got his first yellow card. We kind of kept exploiting that. It was quite clearly something they weren't comfortable with, and the only frustration from the first half was that we weren't able to get more than 1 up. But you know, maybe that's been a bit greedy. They're a good side. We've got no right to steamroll them or walk all over them. But yeah, just seeking that elusive second goal was something we weren't able to do. You know, it does change the game when you're going up the hill, but even then, the pivotal moment really, you know, we missed a penalty, and within 2 minutes we've given one away, which they've scored. So momentum swings massively there, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, clearly you can see that, especially the first half with Reg getting in behind there, where their fullback should have been with experience, was they were vulnerable to Pearson, and we sort of I could see why he brought Matty on for that reason, and it seemed to work with Matty's pace and Regan. You know. We finally got those 2 wingers attacking again.
I mean, we are what we are as a side, and if we can get at people quickly with pace through wide areas, we can cause all sorts of problems. What Lydd were, and we'll give their management and their players a lot of credit, they're very experienced and they realised that. So they thought, well, okay, we'll sit off a little bit, particularly when they went down to firstly 10 men. They'll sit off a little bit and they'll try and defend their box, which they're good at. They've got experienced players, they've got some big, strong lads, and you know, I'm sure there'll be thousands of teams all over the country who in their training session this week will do a defence v attack scenario. You could be 10v8 in the attack's favour. It's very hard to break down a disciplined 8 or a disciplined 9 players that are just going to shuffle, compact and get it away. That kind of was the tone. You know, there's a lot of experience in that side.
There's quite a lot of nous as well, because the other thing that was they started doing immediately. One, they're very big, so they were very physical. But a lot of the time, when we get near them, they would throw themselves on the floor, and then the whole team were just screaming at the ref, desperate trying to get yellows or red cards the whole game. And actually the boys did well to that, because they could very easily have been caught quite a lot, and we managed to get away with it. Because again, it's that thing called nous we were talking about before.
Yeah,
we didn't have it. We don't normally have it, and actually over the whole game we didn't have it. But that one bit, you'd obviously said to them, watch for it, because our players were great in that.
It's really hard to teach people game management because it comes with experience of playing with better players in big occasions, and Lydd are packed full of that. You know, like you go through that squad, and you know, like Sammy Adams alone, that's Hastings' record appearance holder. And that's just one example. I could reel off names, but you know, I'm not a fan, not here to sort of get starry-eyed. But that kind of game management, I think anyone who's been in good winning sides, they know the dark arts. They know how to slow the game down when you need to slow the game down. They know how to get the referee on side where they can. They know how to try and get slightly naive players booked and in trouble. I mean, you know, we've been fortunate that we haven't had anyone sent off, but you could tell with that referee it was possibly always there, which is why I withdrew Morgan early, because I thought he had a very good first half, but he was on a yellow, and I was acutely aware of the fact they were going to try and get the numbers levelled up. So, you know, we withdrew Matt. As much to get Matty on for his pace, it was to protect Morgan and make sure we kept our our men advantage.
Yeah, you know, I mean, going to the second half, it's like, really questionable what sort of happened really, because they're down to 9 men, we had plenty of the ball, but we didn't manage to start overloading attack, we didn't manage to keep hold of the ball and then create stuff. We were sort of like caught in no man's land almost, it felt like.
Yeah.
We just weren't effective. We were doing stuff, but none of it was effective.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't disagree with what you're saying. The time and opportunity we have to work together, you know, we try and work on plan A to the best of our ability, which for us is get the ball right, get it in the box. You know, I used the analogy already, but we do a lot of teams do these defensive attacks in training, and you know, you'll just drill a defensive unit 15-20 minutes constantly defending, and what you'll do, you'll bank up, you won't press the ball, you'll say you can have it there, but any time it comes in, we're going to deal with it. And that's basically what Lydd did. You know, there's enough savvy there. They protected their box very well. They said you can have it there, you can have it there. You know, what we then didn't have, unfortunately, is that little bit of creativity to say, okay, well, if we can't go around you and we can't go over you, we're going to have to go through you. You know, we brought Bill on. You know, Bill is that kind of probably the most creative player we've got with his movement off the ball. But yeah, you know, just wasn't. It's very hard to break down a team that are going to sit on their 18-yard line and defend as two banks.
As like I say, yeah, most people might do train sessions 11v10, but I bet none of them do 11v9.
I think, you know, we do a lot of 10v8s, 7v9s, depending on the numbers that turn up. You just make that work for you. But the other thing I'd say is we're 2-1 up at the time. So we haven't really, if anything, our error has not been our lack of creativity, it's been our lack of game management to say we're 2-1 up here. We don't have to keep putting the ball in the box. We can just go back. We can go back to Bents in goal if it comes to it, to try and draw them out. I think, you know, you look at, and I'm not comparing us to elite Premier League football, but the amount of times teams there will go backwards, all the way back to try and suck the other team out. We probably didn't do enough of that. Perhaps, if we're brutally honest, we're not good enough to do that. Secondly, we're not drilled enough on doing that because it's not a scenario we've been in that often. And thirdly, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I think with the playing surface as it is, it's a little bit risk-free reward. I think people are a little bit, they don't want to slip, they don't want to bobble, you know. That's probably a combination.
Yeah, because I mean, it did show that it's another one where we missed Waldo. If we'd had Waldo running his nabs, he might have managed to do that quite easily. Or, like you said, do we get somebody to go through the middle who can create and play that? But the fact, with the conditions of the club and the playing budget and everything else at the moment, in fact, we don't have a class, means that you might want to go out and say, right, I'm going to get this player for, I'll pick a random number, 200 quid. Not that we will pay you 200 quid. You can guarantee that same 200 quid player who we think is great will then get somebody like Faversham or Lydd or anybody who comes in, we'll give you 400.
Yeah.
So we're never going to get that sort of player at the moment, and that's how we've got to solve that. I don't know.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, the reason people like Wolves are so in demand, you know, and a manager from 2 leagues above us said to me about Walder, you know, leaders are like rocking horse excrement, and they're so hard to find that people like Wolves will always be in demand. And I'll give Lydd, you know, to be fair to Lydd, they've probably got 4 or 5 of those sort of characters, and people might go, oh, yeah, they're not that mobile, yeah, they're getting on a bit. Okay, but ultimately, if you're well organised and their communication was fantastic, I could hear them. They're passing people on, they're giving information, they're allowing us to have the ball there, but the ball goes there. Yeah, so they probably schooled us a little bit out of possession, and it wasn't for want of trying from us. If anything, we were probably a bit too desperate to try and score the third, where actually we could have just been a bit more patient and kept the ball. But you know, we've got to learn our lessons. We're still in early days as a team.
Yeah, I think what typifies the match is this fact that we get a penalty and we miss it. Within a couple of minutes, they go down the other side, they score those, and then with a couple of minutes, then Matty should have had a penalty for James Shield. That was definitely a penalty. He was literally on the line, his foot didn't move, and the ref didn't give it. But it didn't matter because Matty then scores a wonder free kick. Yeah. So it's a bit of a seesaw game.
Yeah, agreed. And their key moments in the game, you know, missing the penalty is bad. giving one away a minute later is double whammy. But again, as always, we regroup, we keep on going, we get ourselves back in front. Great free kick from Matty. And then we've basically got 20 odd minutes to try and hold on to that lead. I don't think the boys really have ever been in a situation where a team stood off us that much. It was almost like we were like, don't really know what to do here, like we better keep on having it. Whereas actually we almost could have just said, well, if you guys don't want the ball, well, but there you go, that's naivety and that's what we've got to learn.
Yeah, because one of the things we thought was obviously, when it wasn't being effective, could you do anything? Could you put different subs on maybe, or change the formation, that sort of thing?
I already had a predefined plan B if we were chasing the game. We were going to be very aggressive. I'm going to go into too much detail, but to get all of the boys on the bench, on the pitch, and really have a go, we had a predefined formation. But we're winning 2-1. I don't necessarily need to do that. You know, if anything, we'd probably leave ourselves a bit too exposed. So, really, we didn't need to do anything. We're 2-1 up. We just didn't want to give a goal away. That was effectively it. And there's a bit of naivety in the way that happened, obviously.
Yeah, because you can be negative, but at the same time, we did have some chances that if we just converted some of those early on, it would have made such a difference.
Yeah.
But we didn't, and then they go score a goal in the 94th minute.
Yeah. I mean, that's ultimately the criminal thing, isn't it? If you can't score, don't let one in. and the timing of it and the way it happened, it's basically occurred from our corner, where with hindsight we should keep it in the corner, we should just manage it out. As it is, we've tried to finish it off. That's then resulted in a goal kick, little bit of a transition. One of their midfielders, very experienced guy, played Football League, Captain Dover. We've allowed him to face us up, pop one over the top. I personally believe it's a cross. It's deflected off Moalaka. Very unfortunately, he's got to attempt to try and compete for that ball. It's looped over George and in. Bit of a freak, but there you go. You know.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't have allowed that.
We should have still been up in a corner, looking after the ball and not letting it out. You know, that's just a bit of naivety, and that's unfortunately where we're at the moment.
Yeah, it's just another reason we need Walder back, and that elusive somebody in the middle that creates stuff and has that knowledge to tell people what to do. Because you can see Trevor's doing it. He was, he sent Sidgy back. Sidgy came up for a corner and he sent him back. So it was Trevor's doing it, but you need more than Trev.
Trev is one of the few boys in the squad, particularly last night, who's got a significant experience at the league above, and they're the guys. That's why he's in demand. That's why other clubs have constantly offered us, him, a lot of money to go and play for him. But we're lucky he's loyal to us, and it's unfortunate he's missed a pen, but he has also scored a goal, and he's also got one of their players sent off. So you know what I mean, a bit of a mixed bag for him.
Exactly, on both of those he used his experience with.
Yeah, massively.
But like I say, all everybody remembers is the penalty. Not the fact that he made sure he scored and he got that guy off.
Yeah, in any walk of life, you can't give someone experience other than giving them time. And it's either that or you've got to pay to get more experienced players in. That's the only two options.
So, I mean, how do you get the players back up for the weekend? Because Deal look like they're going to be champions and get promotion by the look of it. And that's going to be a tough task. How do you sort of address what I think we're going to compete there?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If on Saturday we're in the same scenario, where we're 2-1 up against 9 men with 5, I'll be absolutely flipping delighted. Yeah. So, do the boys need to get up for it? I don't think so. I think ultimately, what's happened. But the reality is we've gone through the whole month of January undefeated in the league. We've won the derby. We've got a good point at Faversham away. If we can get a point at Faversham away, then why can't we be competitive against Deal? If we can get a draw out of Lydd, which should have been a win, why can't we compete with Deal? Yeah. I don't think anyone can really question our levels of effort and energy. It is just our little bit of inability to manage out scenarios. But there have been occasions where we have. Whitstable, Holmesdale, there's been occasions where we have managed the game very well. Glebe in the cup, Snodland in the cup. So, there's nothing to be scared. They're a good side. My personal opinion is they'll win the league, but it'd be great to put ourselves up against them and see where we are again.
Yeah, you put in context of we went to Faversham, got a draw that we could well have won actually. Why can't we do that with Deal?
I completely agree, and that's the mindset. We're certainly not. We respect everyone. We know what they're good at. You know, they've drawn with Faversham last night. I think, as I understand it, they were 2-0 up. Faversham will come back into it. That's two very good sides going head to head. Lydd are a very good side. We've competed with them. We've competed with Faversham. We've competed with Glebe. We've competed with Snow. We're competitive with everyone. So I don't think there's any reason to be scared. You just got to respect that they're a good side, and if we allow them to get up ahead of steam, yeah, they're going to cause us problems, but we can cause people problems.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed that's what we do, cause them problems.
Yeah. Before we go, I just would like to send my best wishes out to Ken Bromley. Obviously, he spoke to Marilyn last night, and believe he's out of the hospital now. So yeah, from all the squad, all the management, all the best, Ken. Hope to see you soon, mate.
Brilliant.